Hello and welcome to Don't Feed the Geeks, presented by the Long Island Comic Guys, the masters of the geeky verse. Well, welcome back, geek freaks. It's been a while. We missed a week. Hopefully, people didn't notice.
Yeah, we didn't even notice.
I am TC, joined today by JJ
Good evening, guys.
and Toy Story.
What is up, everybody?
All right, and we have an episode for you tonight.
We do. What that episode will consist of, we don't know yet.
Yes,
No, we kind of know.
it's about stuff. It's about comic-related stuff and
Good
geek
stuff.
culture.
Stuff that we enjoyed to talk about.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, we're gonna hit a little bit of the geek beat. Toy Story. Do you want to take it away? I wanted to let you know though, JJ did do a pretty good job in your absence last time. So
Did he?
The heat
I was
on.
actually.
Ooh, the heat is on.
I was quite impressed with myself, and I know for a fact you didn't listen to it. I'm right. You didn't listen to it,
know.
right?
I didn't yet. No.
You should listen to it because I was actually quite.
I'm going to. I want to hear this.
It was actually a fun
for it,
episode.
man.
It was
You start
like
up.
one of the
You guys had Polarion, right?
Yeah, it was one of the few that I had listened to in a while.
Yeah,
like
nice.
after recording.
That was the one when we were all together here in my basement.
Yeah, remember
First
that?
time, which was great. That was great.
I know. So, guys,
All right.
my favorite movie of all time is finally coming out.
Wait, just let it come out
start with
first
that.
before you bring
No. Tickets are on sale now, guys. Tickets are on sale.
Yeah, that's the greatest idea. Hey, the movie's coming out. Go see it in the movie theater. And
So I want
only in the
to.
movie
So
theater.
the tweet from the official account says, "Get ticks now for New Mutants in theaters in 10 days." Yeah, really.
Who's going to go see this in the theater? Like, really?
So I actually looked it up. So apparently there's a clause in the contract for the movie saying that it can't go to digital first. It needs to have a theatrical release. So I'm assuming that's why they didn't put it on Disney Plus right away.
Whose clause was that?
Is that might be a thing with movies, and I don't know.
So I guess they're just going to throw it out there to hope for the best, and then
They'll probably
rip it
make
out
like
2 or 3 weeks later.
$500,000 in 3 weeks, and then put it on Disney Plus right away.
I mean, another movie coming out. I think it's the same day actually.
Yeah, it's this month. It's in like a week and a half.
Definitely going to be much better than that movie. Is Bill and Ted 3.
I haven't seen trailers for that. Yeah,
But that one is actually going to be available on demand. I don't know how much. Listen, if it's like $30, people are going to get invited over, and I'm going to make sure I get my $30 out of this. No more than 5 people.
Yeah,
They're doing that
I'm
lately.
excited for that. I just heard today that, like, Matt, Pearl Jam's got a song on this album, on this movie.
really? Like a new song?
I just heard
that's awesome.
heard about it today on Sirius XM. Like, I was like, what?
Nice.
I'm
It
sure
was
there's
weird.
a lot of
She said
awesome
that-
rock songs in that.
And, well, I don't know, Matt, have you heard the soundtrack to the original to that movie?
I've heard
It's
it.
actually-
I've actually never seen the movie. I'm sad to say.
Okay, well, the soundtrack is great.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I promise.
I don't even know.
Otherwise,
Hold on.
It is the same day as New Mutants, so good luck, New Mutants.
For the record, I will not be going to see New Mutants.
I just wanted to let you know. So it's funny. So that commercial came on, and Steph's
New
like,
Mutants?
yeah, the trailer for that. She goes, "What's that?" I was like, "Oh, it's like a X-Men type thing." She goes, "Oh, that doesn't look like an X-Men quality movie." I was like, "You're right, it doesn't."
It's gonna be tough. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I know. I mean,
All right,
so what do you guys think about that? While we're on that, you said that Bill and Ted's gonna be $30
I know. I don't know what the price is.
because they're doing that with what's that movie? Mulan.
Mulan.
Yeah.
Mulan.
It's
yeah,
on Disney
$30.
Plus, but it's a $30.
So how does that work?
watch it.
Has anybody looked?
So what the way this works is you have to be a subscriber to purchase this movie, and you have the movie is now part of your library forever for as long as you have Disney Plus. So it's not
Okay.
you don't lose it, so you can watch as many times you want. So it's basically going to be like iTunes where you buy a movie and it's there. This
Right,
is part
but
of
the
now
problem
your
with
Disney
that
Plus.
is that 6 to 8 months, you're just gonna, if you have a Disney Plus thing, you can just watch it probably.
Yeah, that's the thing. They
You're
got to
gonna
make
watch
it
it.
available at some point,
So-
right?
So I mean, like
Yeah,
people
so-
aren't gonna pay. There's definitely gonna be people who aren't gonna pay for it. I mean, I don't know the following of that. I know my wife and her sister were into the original movie. I know there was a lot of backlash because it wasn't historically accurate and it took a lot of
no Mushu in
liberties
this
with
one.
the culture. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how big. Maybe they're expecting a big China embrace of that movie.
There's no
Mushu. Does China have Disney Plus yet availability?
I have no idea. Actually, it's a good question.
But
it's an interesting direction that they're taking because obviously somebody like me, my household, my kids don't watch a lot of Disney Plus. It's basically just really me spending $30 on that. It's a lot of money for one person to see it. But if you got a family of 4 or a family of 5 who you go to the movies, you're spending at least $40 just to get in, and then another $80 for food and all that other crap.
Yeah, it totally depends on your situation. Like, I'm not paying $30 to watch that.
I'll wait on something like that. But if it was Black Widow, I would spend the $30.
Yeah, agreed.
That might be a direction that movie takes. That is still up in the air.
We'll see. I think it's still scheduled for November.
Go.
And I had even posted that when I put it on our Instagram account. I was like, listen, would I be saying the same thing if it was Black Widow? Probably not. But I'm a fan of Black Widow. I'm a fan of the Marvel Universe. Right. So it's a different situation for me. But I mean, I'm sure there's people who are going to pay it.
I know.
Yep, absolutely. I think it's going to make its money back. At the end of the day, it's going to make its money back. Will it make it over that? Probably not. I think it's just going to make
Yeah. See, now with New Mutants though, if that was supposed to be Black Widow in that spot, I don't think they'd be releasing the movie right now because they know New Mutants isn't going to make a lot of money. Not even just because no one wants to see it, but people aren't going to theaters yet. So there's no way they would release that if that was now either.
I have a feeling there's some type of insurance clause with that.
With which one?
With the New Mutants. There's got to be some type of if it tanks to a certain degree, they get I guarantee you there's some I wouldn't be surprised if there was some condition where if it made less than a certain amount of money, people got made whole or something like that.
I would think so.
I'm excited to see it still. I don't even think it's going to be good. I never thought it was going to be good.
I mean, listen, when it's available on Disney Plus, I'll watch it or wherever it's going to be available. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going out of my way.
The kids who are in it was 3 years ago. They're so much older now.
I was, and again, I was telling Steph, I was like, this movie was supposed to come out before the end of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I was like, she's like,
they couldn't even do reshoots because they were so much older.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. All right, anyway, moving on from that. So in the Sony movie world, Mr. TC just informed us that apparently Olivia Wilde is going to be directing a new Spider-Verse movie, potentially Spider-Woman.
I heard it was supposed to be, and again, this is rumors. I think I saw this on Key Collector and a couple other spots, that it's supposed to be a female-led Sony Marvel movie.
Which means something in the Spider-Universe.
Yes, and I think we're talking about, so Spider-Woman is heavily speculated that it's going to be a center of her. They just said Olivia Wilde would be directing. I don't know if she would be directing and starring in any of the roles. I mean, I think she'd actually make a pretty good Spider-Woman, in my opinion. I wouldn't mind seeing her as that. Or, I mean, she could really do any of the other potential roles they're talking about. They're talking about maybe Silver Sable might be in it, Black Cat, Madam Web. I think Jennifer Carpenter, the second Spider-Woman. So there's a few characters that are getting a lot of buzz right now on that. Again, my issue is it's Sony, and it's going to be off on its own. And the fact that Sony's just retaining all these Marvel properties for Spider-Man is just really disappointing, since they have everything else now. They have X-Men, they have Avengers.
It's just that now.
Their biggest product is with somebody else, really. I mean, granted, X-Men are huge. I mean, Disney and Marvel have turned, Iron Man and Captain America into these huge, characters that aren't really as popular before, worldwide. Mm-hmm. But it's just, it's disappointing that, we'll never get to see them all interact like, we do in the comic books.
Do you really think never? I mean, we never thought Spider-Man would happen,
Right, but again, it would have to be a whole new contract debate. I think it would, I wouldn't say never, but you're talking maybe it'll eventually happen, but that'll be after yet another reboot. Mm-hmm. So it's just, I hate when they just throw the properties around and are really unsure what they're doing with them.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. JJ, you had something, right?
Well, two things. So, news broke last week. New York Comic Con. How do we feel about that being canceled?
Unsurprised.
Extremely.
I'm surprised they waited so long, but I
can't
get it.
believe
I
it.
understand why they waited so long. I mean, from my understanding, I think it had to deal with, insurance. I think that from what I understand is you just can't cancel a show that big beforehand. There's a clause, I guess, built in the contract saying,
you got to wait till a certain
it has to be with a certain amount of time, like 60 days beforehand. You can cancel.
At least they didn't sell
get your
tickets
money
and
back
then
and all that.
hold everybody's money.
Well,
like every single
yeah.
concert has done so far.
Well, with that being
But
said,
did they do that to the vendors, though?
They were pushing hard, and I'm not going to name names of people who told us our sources, but they were pushing hard to get final deposits from everybody.
Yep.
And the word was that the show was still happening. They're at this time we are not saying we're not canceling the show. The show is supposed to be going on. So they're trying to get all that money, and I don't know if they're giving it back or if they're telling people it's going to be applied towards next year. That I'm not sure with personally, but.
And that's going to be a tough situation if they're telling people that it's for next year because, again, there's no guarantee it's going to be next year either.
It's true.
There really isn't.
Yeah. I mean,
it sucks.
Listen, with this whole stuff going on, I mean, I'm expecting, and I think I'm being optimistic by this to say, we should expect the stuff to continue until next summer.
Yeah. I mean, do you guys remember on our quarantine episode when we had Mike Caro and everybody on, we were like, yeah, it should be fine by July probably.
Yeah. I don't think we did an episode. We were just
whatever we were doing. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I mean, I don't think we see a New York Comic Con level show for a while.
Yeah, that I can't really speak to that. I mean, if things get, I mean, again, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
No.
But if they sort things out by like the end of the year, and people, all get this stuff by the summertime. If the summertime is ripping and roaring next summer, you better believe New York Comic Con is going to be a full-blown normal situation.
Yeah.
Like, people are saying, I don't see things ever going back to normal. And to a certain degree, I get what they mean, where, like, some things are never going to be the same and people are always going to have things in the back of their mind. But once it's just like, hey, you don't have to wear a mask and, everything's fine.
Stuff's going to happen.
It's just like, people are going to be going back to, some sense of normalcy, even if there are people. I mean, there's going to be people cautious. Before this happened, you would see occasional people wearing surgical masks and stuff like that. We used to make fun of them and like point at them and say, "Oh, what's this weirdo's problem?" But I mean, I can definitely see more people doing that in the future,
like regularly now, even after this is done.
Yeah, after this is done, like I would say like before you saw it, like before how many did it, I can say like double those people I could see just like wearing masks in large groups. And again, this is totally off the subject. But you see the things that the pictures that are circulating about what they're doing at concerts now with like those like steel things.
They did that in England. They tested.
I would 100% go to a concert like that.
Right.
I wouldn't go to a concert before, but I was like, that looks amazing. I would totally like to not be on top of people. I want every show to be like that. I want the movie theaters to be like that. I don't want to sit next to anybody I don't know.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Last thing, which so we had the ending of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. last week. I don't know. I know you guys don't watch any of that. I actually watched the season 7. I didn't watch season 5 and 6. I kind of went into it because my wife.
Wait, you just skipped 2 seasons?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I stopped. It's probably even 3 seasons.
That's
it just
great.
got it got old and repetitive, and it got annoying after a while. But my wife, she was a trooper. She loves the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and she was, had to watch every episode. But I ended up watching season 7, and it's actually season 7 was pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of time jumping, time warping, and all that. And they ended it. It was a decent ending. Kind of left everything open. But something just came over the wire was, so we've got upcoming Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, starting, I guess, with what? Black Widow, right?
Supposed to.
And then we've got the Eternals, which is slated to come out, and then Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings, coming out. So along the lines of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're going to make, I guess, the next installment of the Avenger movies. they're going to bring back Daisy Johnson, she was Quake. That's not her name that's her name in the show, but she played Quake in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She's going to play an active role during the next Marvel movie, the next Avenger movie. She's going to be a prominent Avenger character.
How did they say that was going to happen?
So her part ended in the show where she was in a spaceship going out to space, right?
Okay.
So the next phase of all this, they're saying she's going to appear a prominent part in the next Avengers, planned on Disney Plus, a sword show. So it looks like they're going to do a sword show on Disney Plus. Yep. So as soon as they showed her on a spaceship heading out to deep space, I was like, they're doing a sword show. I mean, I've read that book. Those books, they're pretty good. As soon as I saw that, I knew something was going to head in that direction. I didn't think that it was going to end up on Disney Plus, but it looks like Disney Plus is going to have a show dealing with whatever, Avengers, just like, the Wanda shows and all that other type of stuff. So it's pretty exciting news. I mean, I liked her character. We'll see how that plays out. There's no time frame, but it just says the next phase of the
time frames are going to be all wonky with these, like, the movies getting pushed back, because obviously the shows don't have to be, because they could be just released, but they depend on the movies. They kind of have to push those back too now, which is annoying. Like, I think Captain America, Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to be out already this month. Wasn't it?
Was it always supposed to be this month? I thought it was supposed
to be
November.
I know that.
Yeah, it got pushed.
Oh.
Well, whether this month or November, it's still pushed now.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with all that when they restart all that stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
We'll see.
Are you guys reading any of this Thor stuff that's going on right now?
Like current Thor?
Thor?
No, I haven't picked up any.
I'm hearing it's pretty big.
Yeah, so
it's all over the place.
Yeah, they're even talking about. I don't know if you've read anything about this, but he's Donald Blake is gonna come back into it. Like, Donald Blake used to be like the alter ego of him, and I was doing research on this because I was trying to read Journey into Mystery, like early on, like right after I think I finished like Amazing Spider-Man, and I just couldn't get into it. It was so bad, but he would hit like a cane on the floor and he would turn into Thor, and the cane would turn into like Mjolnir. And I was just like, whatever happened to this like part of the storyline? Because I've read like current Thor and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like,
wait, you read starting from Journey into Mystery 83?
Yeah, like so I read and I didn't read a lot of them. I probably made it like maybe 10 issues. Mm-hmm. But I would like to go back because some of it's interesting. It's just a lot of it's really boring.
Yeah.
But it's just.
I mean, that's how I found the like early Spider-Man issues.
But I couldn't even figure out like I think I'd literally have to read the entirety of Thor to figure out like when did he just stop being Donald Blake? I was just like, and now it's like they're I guess revisiting that. It's like a big thing. And this Black Winter too, like I think I saw something earlier, but I don't want to like misspeak about what it was. So I don't know. I don't know if it's like Thanos again or like they're talking about this Venom symbiote thing, who's also been huge in the Venom books. Null.
Venom is huge right now. I don't like out of nowhere. Like, where's it all coming from? Like,
a lot of stuff is huge out of nowhere right now.
I mean, those are definitely two huge titles. Like, definitely on the Marvel side, like those titles. Like
all these other companies, are making Venom variant covers, and they're all over. Like, I'm seeing them all over Facebook and Instagram. Like, hey, buy our variant. It's insane.
I mean, I bought like regular copies. I had Thor 1 through 6. I sold them all at the the Elite Claim Fest for probably about $250. Yeah. I mean, 2 of the books, one of them went, and I didn't get 1 ounce of like offer. As soon as I put the claim up, seconds later, claim. And I was like, but one of the books was $100, and it was a fair price. I mean, I've seen them higher than that, and another book was $75, and not even a second for an offer. All 5 or 6 of them gone. And
I sold mine too, the first one.
Yeah.
I was trying to get a hold of my. They did a variant cover of Venom. It was a cool. Clayton did the cover. I don't know what company put it out, but it was Venom with the American flag draped over him. Like, it was a.
Yeah.
Yes. It was a great looking cover.
I have the Spider-Man one for that.
That sold out in 2 seconds online. Like there was not even a chance to get this cover. And pretty upsetting. Now that I see them on eBay for $500.
Yeah, that's crazy. The another book that's like going crazy, a variant, was the speaking of New York Comic Con not happening. There was going to be a Reed Pop, John Tyler, Christopher. You know how like they had the Wolverine with the yellow background, like the negative space.
Yeah,
so they had Spider-Man. The Spider-Man one sold out in like less than 2 minutes. They said.
Wow.
So I guess it was limited to like 2,500 copies or something like that. But just crazy.
Wow.
And I liked it, but it's just like if I was at New York Comic Con, absolutely I would buy one. But
you're not gonna go buy one after the fact for like whatever it's going for, right?
No, I mean, listen. There's a couple of books I like. I'm really starting to get more into like the silver and the bronze stuff and get away from the moderns. But I mean, listen, the moderns are so hot.
They are. Can't deny that.
No.
No matter how much you hate them.
So there was more Stargirl news too, wasn't there? Didn't you?
You know, I didn't even finish the last episode. I totally forgot to catch the last episode of the show. I didn't even see it.
Well, he's not joining us, but our new manager of Don't Feed the Geeks Instagram account, Hudson, he put something on there about Stargirl.
He did.
And there's a couple of like Spider-Man Homesick is a possible name.
Yeah, I saw that
for that title. I don't know if that's official yet. That's pretty funny.
Have you guys watched the show?
Stargirl? No, I don't have the DC Universe anymore.
Oh,
is it on the CW?
It is.
It's on the CW.
It should be. It
right,
should be. I think so.
I'll go back and watch it.
Yeah, like Swamp Thing is premiering on the CW soon, I think.
Yeah. Well, if that goes
it's weird. They're touting it as like a premiere.
Yeah, well, of course.
How would they do? But wasn't there like language in that and everything else? I guess they're cutting all that out.
I think it's CW. I could
or
be
they're
wrong.
putting it on like 9 o'clock. I think there was anything that would stop it from being on like a 9 o'clock slot.
Well, there was a couple of F-bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Was there?
Yeah, it's gonna be on CW.
They might just cover that up then.
Yeah.
Nope, October 6th.
All right.
Interesting.
We'll
talk about more about that later.
Yeah.
Tony Daniel and Scott Snyder are doing a new project together. It's called so they're doing their creator-owned label for Best Jacket Press, which is going to be under the Image line of comics. And
was it kind of like a Top Cow thing?
I think so. And the series is going to be called Nocturnal.
Mm-hmm.
I hope this means, and I think we had this conversation via text with the rest of our crew, that he's kind of going to step away from the Batman stuff for a while. And I haven't read in a little bit, but I think like the last thing I read of his was like Metal. And it was just like, I'm a little fatigued from his Batman writing.
The last Batman
he's
I
such
read,
a nice guy. He really is.
Yeah.
But I hate like hating on him for it because he really appreciates the fans and he's a fan first kind of creator, which not every creator is. Yeah. And we know that from firsthand experience. But it's just like, I want you to move on from Batman now and do different
The last
stuff.
Batman story I read from him was 0 Year.
Yeah,
all of it. After that, I was like,
you even jumped more than I did.
Yeah.
I mean, after Court of Owls,
Court of Owls was incredible too. Like there were so many incredible series, incredible storylines, but even the Joker one I liked.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Joker one was really good too. And then after that, the Endgame one, it was like
15 issues long or something.
Yeah,
I remember when that was coming out. It was like a year long, and I was like, when is this story going to end?
I think it's good that an artist and a writer just after a while just take a step back, maybe walk away from a character that you've been doing for a long time and maybe do something different because you get burnt out on it.
Is Dan Slott still writing Spider-Man?
No, he finally, and that was going to be the next example I use. I mean, like, how long was Spider-Man just like stale for?
Yeah.
Like,
well, he was on it from 600 something until the hell into the 700s.
Did he write the Superior Spider-Man stuff?
He did,
too?
yeah.
He did?
That stuff was amazing.
Yeah, but I mean, he changed everything about the story. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess like some people like have such a good run and if you have a really long story to tell, I think it's a good thing. but I feel like his stories are like long, like they're too long for like the single story, but then they don't go, like it doesn't lead into anything else. Like if somebody has a grand master plan of like 300 issues, like Chris Claremont type stuff, then it's like, oh, all right, let me buy into this.
Yeah.
But if he's doing like this one, like, 30-page story, like 30-issue storyline for this one thing before it wraps up, and it's just like, I've had enough of like this.
I feel like that kind of stuff, even like 15-issue stories that like take over a year to come out, like make that its own subtitle or something,
Yeah.
To me, like that's always, this is getting into a whole other discussion, but one of my biggest gripes even now has always been how tough it is to get into this stuff for new people. Like there's so much past knowledge you got to know. You can't just jump into a new weekly and pick it up and read it.
I think it depends upon the person. Like it depends the type of person you are. I know I can't do that because I have like,
not to say you can't, but it's not
like
easy to do.
I need to like know everything. Like when I first started reading, like half my time, like, and like a lot of this was on Marvel Unlimited, and I was like, if I'm gonna read Spider-Man, I have to go to the very beginning. And I would read, but I also was Googling stuff. Like I was like using the internet as a tool. But I mean, I think you can just enjoy it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff where it's just like, oh, who's this guy? And like just Google him. It's like, oh, all right, that makes sense. I mean, it's hard. It's something that's been around. We have characters that are in 1,000 issues, like over 1,000, issues of a comic book. I mean, how many times can you change it up before the people who are reading it, like, get PO2? Is like, I get getting new people, and you always have to try to be getting new people, but not at the expense of the people who are reading it.
Yeah.
I think if you make it good enough, like Superior Spider-Man, like if you make it good enough, like, hey,
yeah,
like,
that's something you could just pick up and read and like quickly read a paragraph about what's happened so far.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing too. Like, it's a huge thing. Like when you open a brand new cover of like any type of comic book, I know for a fact that Spider-Man does this. It's like Peter Parker, a boy bitten by a radioactive.
Yep, they still do that. Still.
I mean, it's just like, so like, all right, cool. This is who Spider-Man was. I thought he was the guy who flew around with a cape.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't even know what that was. Are we into the subject of this episode?
We're not. We went in the direction
it's okay.
think we're going to go, but it's good, because you bring up some good points there, and one of the issues I have, and we can even talk about this on another show, but
keep going, it's fine.
Take Superman for instance. I love Superman. He's he's over 1,000 on his main issue, but then you've got these other breakaway Superman shorts, Action Comics, which will never go away. Then you have Superman. Then there's this, what's his name? Did The Life of Superman? Wasn't there one?
There's All-Star Superman. On that title.
Like it just there's so many different ones, and if you're a new reader, you're looking at these going, all right, well, which Superman am I gonna read? Because
that's my thing. Like it's
Supermans, and they're all different. They all look different, and I understand different artists have different, visions of what he should look like, but it gets old after a while, and you get confused, and that's what turns you off. To me, that's my opinion.
And to add to what you're saying too, it's just like, oh, well, this is written by Frank Miller, or this is drawn by John Romita, or like Scott. Like a new person's like, what does that mean to me?
Yeah.
Like outside the comic book community, those names mean like pretty much nothing.
For someone just getting into it, they're like their main focus is what's going on in this story right now.
I mean, I could not name. Maybe I probably heard the name Frank Miller, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and that's like before I got into comics, those were like the only names I knew. Like I don't know who Scott Snyder was. I didn't even know who Jim Lee was.
Yeah.
Like I found out quickly, but like if you're not in the comic book community, why would you know Jim Lee? Like if I put his picture in front of my wife, you think she knows who he is? She has no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's true. And that's why I'm pushing so much for this DC app to work. And I think we're going to talk about that more. Mm-hmm. But it's just Marvel, you can read I read every issue of Spider-Man. Like if you want to do that, if you don't know, like you're like, hey, where do I start? I was like, start with number 1. I mean, that's really what
a year ago, one of my friends came to me and he was into comics when he was a kid, but he's in the movies and everything. He's like, dude, I want to read comics, but I have no idea where to start. And I was like, Marvel Unlimited, just get it.
Yeah.
Get it. He got it for a year. He reads it all the time. He's like, this is the best thing ever. Because you could, anything that you Google and you're like, oh, this happened in this issue, you could just go find it right away. It's the best thing out there.
So let's start this out. So because this is good. I think this is a good intro to the whole
one
thing.
more
So
quick thing in news, though.
Okay, go ahead.
They killed Khazar. The guy from from the what's it called? Not the Phantom Zone. What's that place in Antarctica? In the X-Men, they go to Antarctica and there's like that jungle world. No. All right. Well, Khazar's dead. I can't remember.
Well, I'm sorry to
the
hear.
name of it.
I'm really sorry to hear that. And I will lay some flowers down.
The Savage Land. The
condolences.
Savage Land.
My condolences.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was like
sure.
the king of the Savage Land.
Ah.
All right. So my condolences. I'm sorry to hear that. And maybe
What was his name again?
Khazar.
Okay.
I was paying attention. And now I'm intrigued. Khazar from the.
I just
Savage
wanted to make
Land
sure if you even heard the
passed
name.
Do we know what? Do we know how he passed away? How did he pass away, Tess? Yeah.
Apparently he was stabbed. You can read all about it on the Don't Feed the Geek post. There's plenty of information there.
Oh, did our page manager post it?
Yes. His ex-wife was Shauna. I bet you know who Shauna is.
Don't know who Shauna was.
The Jungle Girl.
She is in mourning right now, and I'm hoping she'll be okay. So, Khazar, rest in peace. Sorry to hear that.
All right, let's just go.
So fantastic.
We're gonna get a break. So this is a great opportunity to bring in the whole DC crash, the DC bombs, whatever happened last week up until now, big time. And we can also bring into this, the difference between where DC has, where they not started, but like their whole app to compare that to where Marvel is now. But what happened with DC last week?
All right, so it all started. So obviously everybody knows, we talked about it. AT&T merged with Warner Brothers, right? So even then, people were speculating there were going to be changes to DC Universe, and shows and whatever. So essentially,
when did this merge happen? Do you know when this happened?
A couple months ago, I think. I honestly don't remember.
Okay, no, I was just curious.
Yeah, okay. But so it happened. So essentially what happened about a week ago or a week and a half ago is a third of the DC's entire editorial staff was laid off because Warner Brothers obviously needs to save money because of Corona, and they're essentially just restructuring the way they do everything. So a huge chunk of the editorial team, including a lot of senior members and senior editors, were just let go. Jim Lee's still vice president of whatever, or chief, whatever he is. But a lot of guys who are like...
But he's not still the same thing. He got like downgraded a position, I think.
He got demoted.
What did he get demoted to?
Give me a second.
Because he was.
I read he was still chief creative officer.
Then there was something else that
I could have missed something, but yeah. So yeah, they were just hit with massive layoffs, and that was the only news that came out about it. Not even really. Actually, no, I'm sorry. So the massive layoffs, DC Collectibles, the sector of that has been cut entirely, so that doesn't exist anymore. Any of those products are just going to be distributed and marketed through Warner Brothers. So that entire team was let go. Additionally, most of DC Universe's team, because they're going to keep that comics only and shift all the shows over to HBO Max.
Which I just found out if you have Verizon, you get for free if you.
I found that out yesterday.
Subscriber.
Yeah. I
was like, ooh, I have it.
Yeah.
Verizon what? Wireless or
Fios?
Verizon
Fios, yeah.
They're charging me $15. I just noticed 2 weeks ago for this.
If you
I don't remember ever signing up for it.
If you sign in with your Fios information, it's free.
I'm
Public service announcement to everybody out there.
So this is huge. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I know, TC, you dropped out of the whole DC app universe a while back. Matt, do you still have it?
I actually just realized I still pay for it monthly. It's like $7 a month, so I didn't notice. But I still have it.
I'm still on the yearly. I'm still on the year. I know that they did cut the year out, so you cannot buy this yearly now. It's going to be moving to month. So after I think mine renewed in December because that's when it first started.
Mm-hmm.
So after December, it's going to be month to month. What it's going to drop in price to, I would love to know that because it is moving to now just comics only.
Yeah, Jim Lee said that, which I'm actually very happy about.
So where's the pain points have we experienced with the comic side of DC Universe? Anybody?
Who wants to start?
I've got a list.
Got a list too. You wrote them a strongly worded letter, Mr. TC. So
I did. I mean, when I think they asked for like a feedback. I was like, I was like, I'm so glad I got this. And I always ignore those too. Like unless I think
I was on
amazing.
the train. I was on the train with you when you were writing that.
Like Marvel Unlimited, they've never sent me one, because if they did, I would tell them it's fantastic. I love it. But very normally I don't write feedback, and I had been complaining about this. I was like, they must be listening. Here it comes. Yeah. But it always seemed like the comic side of it was an afterthought. Mm-hmm. Finding a comic book you wanted to read was impossible. Adding a bunch of issues to like your library was impossible. Like moving them to like your downloaded list. I was like, I think I said to somebody when we went to like one of those DC Universe events during Comic-Con of last year, I was like, you're probably not the right person to tell this to, but the comic side of reading is really not user-friendly at all. I was like, I know it's a different company, but I don't know why you just wouldn't mirror Marvel Unlimited. Like their setup is perfect. Like you can get your books, the search function. So when you try to search for something there's no map library where it's just like you scroll up and you see every single title available. It was just like search, and they would show you a few books like, Action Comics. So we have this title. I was just like
and
what?
There's no order either. There's no order
organization. Yeah, and it's not by like year. They don't have, the volume. Maybe they have the volume number. I don't know if it got better. I'm sure it didn't. But like they were, you can tell they were putting all this effort into like the streaming side, where it's just like I don't know how they thought like that was going to be a winner for them. Mm-hmm. Like it was a good show. Like I like Teen Titans. I really like Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing didn't work out. What's the other one?
Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol was weird, but I was like, hey, it's not that bad. It's like, but like it wasn't enough to get me to keep the service for like, because I wanted that for the comic books. Yeah. And the like mini rant I was going on before, it's like, if you're that person, like, hey, where do I start with reading? I was like, you could start with number one if you wanted to read Action Comics number one. And listen,
but then it skips to 575.
Exactly. It was just like,
and that's the other problem. Like, there's no like you said, there's no consistency, but they don't have all the issues. They're not even
first they only had like scattered issues.
Yeah. Listen, I was like, I understand, it's hard to have every single comic. DC Comics has been around since 1938 or whatever, even before that maybe, but you better damn well make sure you have every issue of Batman, Superman, like your heavy hitters like Flash, Wonder Woman. You should have every single issue of those copies. And then you know what? Maybe drop like some other random issues. I mean, like, hey, Hawkman. We didn't get all of Hawkman on there. Sorry. But I was like, this is, you shouldn't have like, hey, Action Comics 5, and then, okay, you can pick it back up at Action Comics 300. I was like, what? Yeah. I was like, as soon as I saw that, like I got to like issue 5, and it's just like, next one's like issue like 27. I was like, is this even like did I miss 5 Superman issues, or did Superman skip around? Like it was frustrating.
And they're missing so much. Like one of the books I just started was the war books I just started buying, and they're DC books.
Oh, the weird war ones.
You can't. Yeah, they're
you can't read them if you want to, right?
They're nowhere. Can't read them. They're nowhere in existence. And it comes to it begs the question. Does DC even have digital copies of these? I mean, I understand. I mean, do they keep every single? Do they have a copy of every single issue?
I mean, they should. I can't say that for certain, but I understand they have a huge archive.
I would hope so. They need to pay somebody to start scanning these things in and start, pushing these out, because that was one of the biggest draws for me was to read these books, and to read the first Aquaman, More Fun Comics, 73, not there, and how is that not even there? These are this is the first appearance of Green Lantern and Speedy and Aquaman, and these are the core Justice League members. Why are these guys on this app of yours if you're pushing this thing out? You're making movies of them, people want to see what, how they started in the comic books. If you're going to publish movies and make little shorts and everything else, where's the comics for these? How can people read these things? Because I can't afford a $77,000 More Fun Comics 73. I would love to read this thing. If I'm paying a subscription base to read it, let me read the damn thing.
And you're not reading it if you do spend the $77,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, that was all in one breath. I'm tired now.
That's okay.
Listen, it's a good point. I think, we were saying it the other day, they're just in disarray between not just them, but like the Warner Brothers side too. It's like, there's constantly things coming up about the people who are making the movies. I don't know if it's that they don't want to spend the money on the movies. It's just they can't get their act straight. And I feel like, people can argue with me if they want. They try to be so anti-Marvel. And I was like, you can be a little darker. Your characters, they're all superheroes. To try to actively be their opposite is to actively try and be unsuccessful. I mean, they're massively successful. Like, people are sleeping, pooping. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's like Iron Man freaking toilet paper out there. I mean, these products like are so popular right now. We're talking about Iron Man being probably in the top 5, if not higher, most popular superheroes. I mean, how many people knew who Iron Man was in 1998?
Yeah.
I don't think a lot. I mean, I did. I remember watching that awesome cartoon in like the early 90s where it's like, I am Iron Man. I was like, this is awesome. I don't even know what these are about, but I'm going to tune in. But it's just, there's so many characters, and they keep revamping and revamping. Like, this whole, like, oh, now apparently Ben Affleck's going to come back as Batman. I mean, like, that's a rumor. I mean, but they have this other guy going on. Like, you can't have, like, multiple live actions. It's like if Marvel and Disney is like, we're just going to do another Iron Man movie with Tom Cruise, who was in the running who was in the running before Robert Downey Jr., by the way.
Uh-huh.
And it's just like, yeah, but it's not going to be related to any of these other movies. What? Like why? It just makes no sense to me. I mean, DC has just as many awesome characters. And if you put the work into it, you can make somebody like a Hawkman awesome, or like a Martian Manhunter awesome. Like, there's so many characters outside. There's like 5 or 6 Justice League characters that we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
It just really upsets me because they're such a, iconic characters that they're not really getting, their just due.
Yeah. So following all this, it looks like a bunch of titles got axed or are going to get axed.
Hudson posted about this the other day.
So, did he?
Yeah, he did.
I appreciate everyone checking in on Don't Feed the Geeks.
Well, I was looking at it. We're not being tagged in it, so that didn't help me out.
Oh, it's okay. You know the name of the account.
I know. Jeez.
Yeah, so they're canceling like 25% of their titles. I think like 7 titles. So,
looks like October is going to be Batgirl, Batman and the Outsiders, Justice League Odyssey. And then we've got November, they're axing Teen Titans, Young Justice, Suicide Squad, Hawkman, and John Constantine Hellblazer.
Constantine can't catch a freaking break, man.
And Aquaman.
Oh.
Well, I think Aquaman, the way I heard it, was he's taking a hiatus.
He's coming. Well, it's coming to an end, and then we'll see what happens.
There'll be a new #1 next year.
And that's just it. So wait a few months, and then they'll come out with #1, and hey, the origin of Spider-Man, Aquaman, and
that people would finally buy Aquaman books if they retold the origin of Spider-Man in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
Listen, at the end of the day, I think part of it is their fault. There are too many titles. I mean, I understand you're trying to test out new writers and new artists and see who's going to be the next big thing, and you never know what's going to pop.
Mm-hmm.
But how many Batman issues can you have? I mean, you want to have Batman, you want to have Detective Comics, fine. I know those are 2 big ones. They've been going on for a long time. But there's so many of them. Even with Superman, action and, you have action comics and you have Superman comics, but then you have Batman and Superman, and you have, like, Superman and this. And it's just like, how many Teen Titans books do we need? And like Wonder Woman, like I feel like Wonder Woman is another one that keeps revamping.
Yeah.
And it's just there isn't enough interest in some of these, but you have to push the ones that are interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what the end result should be here. I don't have a solution.
Or you're just saying what the problem is.
I'm telling you what the problem is. It's just like, and
it's their job to come up with a solution.
They don't know, how to fix it. And I don't know if there is a way. I mean, listen, I'm sure there's less people reading.
Yeah.
But they need to focus on like, hey, how about we take away 10 of these titles and maybe put the money into promoting the other titles, like put something
and making
on TV,
them good.
Put something, put ads out on these apps and Instagram and stuff like that. It's just like, how much can that really cost you, like to do that? Like how many books you're making? Like you can't spend like $5,000 on an Instagram ad to run for a couple months.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, like this, and like shoot it out to everyone. Maybe some people will read it, whether they read it digitally or in physical copies. I guarantee you, I feel like digital, and this is definitely true for me. It's almost like a gateway drug into comics.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you were kind of saying you think all this is going to go digital, but I feel like once you start reading them, and there's like, oh, find your local comic book shops. Like, oh, well, buy these. And like when you hear like, oh, this is a great story. Like, oh, wow, this issue's going for $100. It just came out last week. It's like, it stinks that I just have this red version that I spent the same amount of money on that I can't sell for $100. Yeah. It's just like, I think there's always going to be that demand for the physical.
So I want to talk about that digital stuff.
Yeah,
good.
All right, so I have this article in front of me. So Jim Lee was talking about like all the changes and what they're basically projecting for the next couple of years, and this is a quote from him. He says, "I think there's definitely business to be had in physical periodicals, but that said, I think there's greater upside in digital." Because we can go to a more global audience and the barrier to entry, especially in this pandemic, is lower.
Yeah, and so they're trying to kill the comic book companies. Basically.
Yeah, so I think this whole thing and not being able to sell comic books for 3 months made them realize, oh, we should probably figure out another way to do this. So I don't think that the weeklies, like the physical books, are going to ever disappear. But that being said, I think they're going to get progressively less and less and less in favor of digital. That's just my opinion.
Well, I think when that happens is when you're going to have the death of the comic book. Because when it comes to the point where people are just reading these, I don't think there's enough people who are just reading comics. I think
so many people buy them and never read them. And just hold them.
It's probably 50. Yeah. I mean, listen, like I can show you outside my, my room where I'm going through sorting. Like there's weeks upon weeks. I don't read the physical books. Mm-hmm. I don't. I read them digitally, and I'm not going to lie, I do. Mm-hmm. But I probably wouldn't even do that if it wasn't for, the value of the book and, keeping up with what's going on. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's nice to have a hobby that also has like a monetary value with it. And, there's no like monetary value in just buying a digital copy.
Yeah. You'd have to go back to collecting old stuff then.
Yeah.
But
because it costs the same amount. It costs the same as buying a digital.
That's another thing. Digital books should be $1 less, 100%.
At least.
I shouldn't have to pay more than a song price for a digital comic book, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I don't know. Where do you guys think?
So going back to the whole digital thing, I can see them, maybe taking, moving a lot of these to digital and maybe taking the popular ones and maybe moving them to a physical copy, ones that
quote from Jim Lee in front of me.
I mean,
we'll take the most successful books and repackage it as physical books.
There you go.
So,
your
Batman titles will always be
came
physical.
Out digitally?
Yeah. So your Batman books will come out and then come out again physically for whoever wants to buy them. But your, Doom Patrol won't probably, or whatever.
I don't see that as a solution either.
I don't think it's the right thing. I think it's going to happen in some way, shape, or form, though. You guys don't?
I don't know.
I think it's going to happen.
Yeah. And if that's the case, what happens to comic stores? Because a lot of them rely on those weeklies for the bulk of their income,
Yeah. And
I don't know.
You know, DC moved to a different distribution. So what is all that? So what does all that mean?
Yeah.
And all that.
They were Diamond for 30 years or something, and they left. Like, that's not, it's not just because they were like, oh, we don't want to do this anymore.
This
They're
has
doing
all been
something.
in the works.
I don't know.
I think this has all been in the works months and months and months of years ago. This whole route. I think this has been on the project for a while. I don't think they just suddenly 3 months into the virus had decided that, hey, we're going to be doing this. I think this was been planned out.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't. This is too big. It's huge. Especially taking all these titles away and then thinking about moving everything to digital and just taking the popular titles.
I'm curious what's going to happen.
This is people's lives and work.
So the thing that stinks is we're actually recording this before DC Fandom.
That's true, yeah.
So I'm really curious to see what's
this episode might be wildly outdated in a few years.
Yeah, so we'll have a follow-up episode 2 months after that about DC Fandom.
We might add a little epilogue to the end of this. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't like any of it.
So, like, in a scenario where that happens with the digital, let's just say the bulk of it goes to digital for DC and Marvel. I think the independents are always going to be physical. Because they're smaller, even
they don't have that. I don't think they have the technology to do that because it's a lot of work to build that.
Yeah.
They have them all digitally already.
What is that company that you can buy?
Comixology or something.
Yeah. So they're all there anyway.
Mm-hmm. So if this happens digitally, do you see what do you see happening to the comic store as we know it?
I think at this point they're already hurting.
They're hurting for sure, but they're still existing, right now.
There'll probably be a shift. And listen, we don't know the way of the world. Things will get more digitally, less people will want to go out, but there could be, another renaissance of people just being into old stuff. Like how many record stores just went out of business years ago, and look at people going crazy about records again. I think new albums and stuff like that are coming out on record again. Am I right?
Oh, yeah, I get them in the mail once a week, something new.
So it could hurt now. I think we'll see some fail, the ones that weren't doing great to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that are really really good at evolving with the times, they'll find something to stay in.
And the ones who dip their toes in a little bit of everything, like figures and old books and anime and whatever the hell else, those are the ones I think that are going to be fine.
Listen, there's so many people that collect. This collecting is a physical thing. You can't collect anything digitally. Mm-hmm. The collector, I don't see that going away.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe by the time the kids who were born in 2010 and 2020, by then maybe, I don't know, but they're growing up seeing this stuff too. Yeah. So it's really hard to say. There's going to be an avenue for statues. There's still going to be physical books. There's no way physical
old books are always going to be.
And old books are where the major collectors are. It's harder and harder to get them. They're more expensive to bring in, but the profits are there too.
And they're more desirable and people are willing to buy them.
It's true. Just think of how we mentioned, the other day, and the article that came out. I don't think we mentioned that. We had a nice little article.
No, the sci-fi article,
in Sci-Fi Wire, about us and Comics 11 and everyone else who was kind of getting into that, claim fest. I think we all thought that this was going to be a huge dip in the market in terms of buying, but it's been the opposite. It's been booming. Mm-hmm. Comic books can't, older comics, newer comics, they can't stay on the shelves. People are really, I guess there's really nothing else to put that vacation money and that travel money and the going to bars money and restaurants money.
I spent vacation money on
they're
comics.
It to better, they're putting it to collectible use. People are still spending. It's not
and it's I've been, people I know, every collectibles market is up right now. Even baseball cards, which not as many people are into anymore, are so up right now.
It's coming back too. Everything is going. We've mentioned it a bunch of times. I still think we probably have to have a whole episode on it. But the video game thing, that still boggles my mind. How there's so many people with unopened video games, comic books. I get you could read them and close them, and they weren't sealed. These are brand new games like from Nintendo
that you bought and just never opened,
and
like
Super Nintendo, and even older. Like I saw Sega and some Atari ones. I was like, who didn't open and play this? I was like, what, you get two? Like, if I got two games when I was a kid, you bet your butt I was going to the store as soon as possible to return it so I could get a game I didn't have. I just, like, that blows my mind. That really blows my mind that there's that many of them out there, like, still sealed. Like, if people were all about, like, the cartridges, I was like, okay, cool, I get it, I understand. And I know some of them are still worth money. But it's just like, how are there this many games in the box?
Yeah.
I just don't understand. I mean, I still have probably a ton of cartridges somewhere. I know in a box somewhere I still have the gold Zelda that I just wouldn't let go of. And I know that on its own is a $50 cartridge.
Yeah. We gotta have a GoldenEye night one night.
A gold what?
GoldenEye night.
Oh, you played that?
Yeah.
I don't think you were born when that came. You were two probably. I think that came out in '97.
Yeah, I got my N64 a little bit later.
Yeah, but it's
crazy.
I think I don't see the comic book stores disappearing, but it's going to get harder. They're going to have to put work into it. They're going to have to, adapt.
Well, that documentary we interviewed the creator of a couple episodes ago. They talked about exactly that, like the stores that evolve with the times versus, the old school guys who I love those old school shops, but at the end of the day, they're going to have a lot more trouble.
Yeah,
as
like, hey,
the years go on.
I don't want to get into Pops. I don't want to get into this.
Yeah.
I mean, there can't be a thing where it's like, I don't want to get into that. It's just like, you have to be open. Like, I can understand if it doesn't make financial, sense to do it. It's like, well, my customers aren't into that. Like, yes, but you also want new customers.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the people who are solely doing like new books and don't bring a lot of older stuff in, or don't push a lot of other product, even now, I don't understand how they survive. Reading is just the thing that stinks is like reading on its own. Like, how many people are actually reading anything? Like how often do you see like a long post on Instagram? Like, oh, this is interesting, and it's like 2 paragraphs. Like, no, I'm good. I mean, I know I'm guilty of it. I mean, how can you ask like 5-10-year-old kids who are playing like whatever the heck, Fortnite or whatever, to say, hey, how about you read this comic book instead? It's like, no. It's just
true.
It's tough. They might not even teach people how to read in a couple of years. I'm not even joking.
I know.
I mean, handwriting. Like, think about that. I don't think that's a class anymore. Did you have to take
not.
that in school?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think they're going to teach people how to write script.
Dude, I wrote
how to write script
for hours. Yeah. I learned that. They don't teach that anymore.
They don't do.
I can write beautiful cursive.
Cursive, that's what it's called.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was good. I mean, I don't know where everything's going to go. I'm very curious to see what happens with DC, especially.
They're my biggest concern right now. Marvel.
And Marvel's got its fair share of problems with modern stuff, but they're fine.
I mean,
and they're in the same boat. They've got a lot of titles that they can just get rid of. Like I finally went to Midtown Comics today, and it's amazing to be there on a Wednesday morning, and nobody's in there. Like it was a little eerie.
Weird, right?
But it's weird, and they didn't have as many copies of each of the books like they used to. Like. So it was a little weird, but walking over to the Marvel area, and it's just 2 rows of new books, and again, what was it? Thor came out there. I think it was a Thor book came out there, but there was like 6 different covers. Like, why do I need all these covers?
I mean, but that's the thing.
It's insane.
Too, like with Marvel, yeah, they're not doing as well, but the 2 hottest new titles right now, Venom and Thor. I mean, those books are insanely hot. I mean, listen, Batman's always going to sell. They got this punchline, and she's probably a punchline. But the big guys, they're gonna go. I mean, will sometimes they have too many of them? Will they? They do all these gimmicks. I mean, Batman 50, he's gonna get married, or he's getting engaged to Catwoman, and it doesn't happen. It's just like there's always gonna be some type of gimmick. I'm sure somebody, Batman's gonna have a kid soon, and it's gonna be in continuity, and it's not gonna be like Damian. It's gonna be like their kid. She's pregnant already, right? Isn't she pregnant? I think they are having a kid, but I mean that's going to be the next big gimmick. Whenever that happens, and then they'll fast forward it 10 years, whereas she's already fighting because I mean, who's going to read a book about them taking care of like an infant? But nobody knows what people are going to want in the future. If you can't read everybody's minds, I mean,
if you think about 10 years ago, nobody knew what would be popular now.
Yeah, I mean,
think about 6 months ago, you don't know what's going to be popular now.
I hear like the mind reading devices they don't work on everyone. They're very
especially comic book readers.
Yeah, there's not a lot there to read through.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, that was a good talk. Look at that, guys. We did an episode. We don't know what to do.
Oh, this was an episode? I thought this was a geek. I thought this was a.
We're still on Geek Beat. Now we're gonna move to our main topic.
What is it?
I don't know, man.
Do we have a closing?
What have you guys picked up?
Did you guys pick anything? Did you guys pick up anything today? There we go.
Picked up today. I didn't go to the shop. I think I went there yesterday, but I don't know if they gave me my new books or not. I didn't even look.
Oh, that's funny.
I was like, are these my books? Because there's some other stuff in there. Oh, another hot book like Robin King, all that nonsense.
Yeah.
Like it just, but older stuff I got.
I got some older stuff.
I did get a First Lizard.
So did I. It's coming Friday.
Yes. What was yours?
6.5.
You got that one, right? Yeah,
that's 6.5. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got the 7 recently.
Yeah.
And even more recently, I got the Amazing Spider-Man 2, First Vulture, and a 6.0. So
big
really
boys.
Knocking off some of those. And then today I got a nice ASM 238 First Hobgoblin newsstand CGC 9.0. It's a nice book. It's not not as big as some of the other ones, but I wanted to have one. I'll probably eventually upgrade it, but I don't know. I'm happy with this one for now.
Yeah, I've spent so much money in the last few months. I've got every book on my 2021 list.
So I am down to 2 major keys.
4 and don't tell me 9.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And 9's
And
not too bad.
No, it's I think it's come down a little bit since the Jamie Foxx movie.
Oh, it went up for that.
I think it was a little bit up there.
Yeah. What are your grade goals for those?
At least 6.
Yeah, both of mine are 5.0s, I think, or 5.5s.
Yeah. Now that I got the 2 and a 6, I was I can't go lower on any of the other.
Do you have 3?
That one I do. So that's going to be needed. I'm going to need an upgrade on that because I have a 4 on that.
Is it graded?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I have 4. I have a really beat up 5. So we all know yesterday what was going on.
Dude, you got to get those.
So I'm not as... The first appearances, I really want a 6 or better. The other copies, like I would go like 5, 5.5 if they were nice.
My goal on those books, except for the number 1, was 5.0 and above for the early ones. The only one now that I'm not there yet is my number 2 is a 4.5.
Close.
It's annoying because it looks again, right?
have Elite press it.
Elite press it. I know. I finally got a nice copy of Spidey Annual 1, 6.5.
That's another one.
I was after that for a long time. I had the 1.8 for a while, so this is a big upgrade.
I actually need 1, 2, and 3 of the annuals.
Do you have the rest?
Yes.
Nice. What's your grade on the annual goal? The number 1.
Probably a 6 also.
Yeah.
What's yours? 5.5?
6.5.
6.5. Oh, that's nice.
So you got to get a 7 now.
I don't care about that. As long as I can get like a nice... I would even probably settle for a nice 5.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, JJ?
You got a nice set of books.
Oh, yes.
I got a nice set. The Return of the Jedi, graded 9.8s, Canadian variants.
Yeah.
Really nice. Those,
really
right?
nice. 4 of them, yep, 1 through 4. Really nice. Really nice. I think I got a great price on them. I know I got a great price on them. I couldn't pass that up.
Yeah. Thank you to Elite Comics, of course.
Yeah, and again, and the guy
the
reached out.
238 was really...
the guy reached out. The guy that I bought him off of. I don't know if you saw that message.
Yeah, I
from
did.
him.
That was nice.
Yeah, I think he's bought from us in the
but,
past on the Instagram sales.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
It's
It was good. So I'm really happy. And then I picked up. I just picked up a couple books today. Star Wars Bounty Hunters. I picked up
Are
the
you
last
looking at 'em
Harley
right now?
Quinn. I have them right here.
Yeah, sure. Oh, you can't.
Yeah. I can't do that, can I? Oh, there we go. So that's
nice.
the Bounty Hunter cover.
Oh,
That's
you
cool.
We'll do it that way.
That's cool. I like that.
That's a really cool cover. Can you take a picture of that and send it later?
Yeah, I will.
Nice.
Midtown only had, this was the last one. They only had one on the shelf when I was there. So I was like, I'm going to take this one. And then the Harley Quinn, this is the last issue of her series.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So 75. So this is one, this is the Cho, the Frank Cho cover. And then they've got the regular cover. Yep. So that, and then there were three. I picked them all up. They were one per person, so I just grabbed all three covers. But the new Catwoman, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Is that the full new Snow? Did you guys hear that Snowflame was back?
No, really?
Yeah,
No.
he was in the previous issue. Hold on, I actually have it right here. Hold on one second.
Oh, here he is.
Oh, you have it?
Is that him? Is he in the red? Yeah,
surprised
here
no
it
one
is.
else-
I'm going to show it. There it is.
Yeah. There it is.
Snowflame.
That's amazing.
So this is the first one he appears in. So this one's the first time he appears since that comic book that he died in.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So that's why it was one per person, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
And then I don't know. This was again another one per person. I bought both covers, but it's the Power Rangers New Dawn. I don't know. It was one per person. I grabbed them because if it's one per person, I'm gonna grab them.
Yeah.
Whatever
Might as
I can
well,
get.
right?
They've got a cool.
Oh,
foil
that's
cover.
nice.
I love this foil
That's
cover.
So
really
this
nice.
this was crazy. Yeah, this is really nice.
Don't touch it
Sweet.
too much. You want a 9.8 on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to. Yeah, you guys are gonna think I'm really weird on this one. This is the Street Fighter swimsuit special.
I saw those. I didn't like any of the covers because I thought about them for a second.
I bought them both. I got them both. Again, this was buy one per person. And then this looked interesting. Voyage to the Stars.
Yeah, that's one of the new hot ones. Yeah, there you go.
This was the
Image,
last
right?
one on the shelf. It is.
Yeah.
So IDW.
Oh, IDW. Yeah, but it was a hot key I heard this week, or a hot new title.
And then first, this was a hot one. This was the last one on the shelf. Savage Dragon. I just bought it because it was the last one.
Great 90s
I don't
series. They're worth so much money. The number ones.
And then I don't know. This Captain Marvel looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
nice.
That's a cool cover.
There we go. And then for some reason I just really like this Aquaman cover.
I don't understand.
And then of course because I bought book 3 and I need to buy book 1 and 2, but and then we didn't talk about this. So going back to the DC, what's going to happen with their Black Label?
That's true,
Because
yeah.
again,
We'll probably
there's
know by
so
the
many-
time this comes out.
Yeah.
there's so many Black Label. Again, I didn't realize how many Black Label comics there are. There's a lot.
Are they all oversized?
And they're all oversized.
Yeah, they are,
All of
right?
them are. So now
So this is number 4. This is Wonder Woman Dead Earth. So I bought issue 3 not knowing that there was an issue 1 and 2 because they put the issue number really small. You can't really see it. It's tiny in the very corner.
funny.
But I ended up, so I went to Midtown. They had 4. I had 3. I bought 4, and then I went to Montesee Comics because I wanted to buy some cards today, and they had issue 2, so I bought that one also. So I got to
close.
find issue 1. So close.
Some of the Black Labels are like trade paperback size. I mean, they're thick and they have like that paper cover thing, like those. But like, they should just do those. Like, I hate I have to go buy magazine bags and boards for those.
And a
It's
box.
Yeah,
And they don't push
I
those-
have a bunch of them. It's all the freaking Black Label stuff.
And they don't push those to digital, so they're not on digital. So,
Oh, really?
Well,
Oh.
yeah.
I think because
Black
they're
Labels are
considered
not
like
digital.
adult.
Just wait for the day when it's mostly digital, and then they do the special exclusive, print-only stories, and how rare those are going to be.
Awesome.
So first day back into Midtown, it was a pretty
nice.
There you go. It was an adventurous day going back into Midtown Comics today.
This is my old copy. Off to a new home soon.
We're just showing them off.
Yeah, show off whatever I have.
You take yours out. I'll take mine.
I don't have the new one yet.
I think I put all my other ones in the box, so I don't want to take them out.
Ooh, you got one of those.
These just came out today, brand new. They weren't even that even. This is series 2, so I will be doing a video on this.
Just open it now.
Just open it now.
Do it for the episode.
Just go do it now.
Yeah, why not?
We'll do it right now.
Impromptu opening. Yeah. Get that Harrison Ford autograph. Come on.
Here we go. These just came out today. The guy, the owner of Mondesi, he knows me. He's like, "Oh, you're here."
He saves them for you, right?
We just got these in.
He goes, the only guy who buys them.
So I bought one. I only bought one. So we're gonna open this live on the air.
What's retail? What's retail on them?
I think they're about $100. I don't even know what I spent on this today because I bought a lot of stuff. My kids are into the Pokemon cards, so I had to buy some Pokemon boxes.
Another thing.
So here we go.
That's ramped up again.
Oh my God!
Huge.
Yeah.
I swear to God. So my son Jack pulled a card a couple months ago, and I'm going to get it graded. I have to
get it graded through CGC. They have that now.
It's a $10,000 card. I swear to God, this card is $10,000, and it's selling for $10,000.
I hope you
graded
took it away
one
from him.
It's in a safe. Yeah. It's, if I can get a Beckett's 10 Black Label 10 pristine, it's a $10,000 card, and it's flawless right now. It looks flawless.
I'd sell it by a comic book.
All right, here we go. So let's see what we got here. I'm going to just show it up. I don't even know what it is.
It's upside down.
Oh, cool. It's
I can't see.
It's
Gina Carano.
Nice.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Cool. I'm very happy about that.
Oh, awesome.
That's
wow.
Cool.
Oh, excellent. That is cool. Here, I'm going to stand up.
Nice. Take a picture, post it tomorrow.
I'm gonna post this tomorrow, but you'll already see it.
Post it Tuesday, actually, after the episode.
There we go. And that's what I'll do. And then it comes with the card too. So it comes with the card. This is numbered 55.99. This is pretty cool. This is the game, the Jedi game that they came out.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah. So
nice.
it's the kid. That's cool. But all right, I wanted her autograph. This is perfect.
That's awesome.
I'm very happy about that. But what I will do too. So I won't do this here. But they also came out new ones. Star Wars Chrome card that just came out.
Oh, cool.
This has got a guaranteed autograph hit. So I'll open up this on the weekend. Maybe do an Instagram live video. I'd like to try to figure that out. Maybe I'll do that.
Excellent.
But yeah, all right. That I'm pretty happy about that autograph.
Nice.
How are we doing on time right now?
We're about 110.
Nice.
Let's just say 110.
So Matt, you wanted to talk a little bit about a book series you just finished reading, right?
Oh
yeah. So just literally 2 nights ago, as of this recording, I finally finished Lord of the Rings. It took me April, May, June, 5 months.
The book.
Yep, all 3.
The book, right?
Yeah, all 3. It took me 5 months to read that, including The Hobbit, even though I'd read The Hobbit like 5 times before I started it.
So 4 books technically.
Yeah, 4 books. I have 5 months. Man, I know you guys said they were a slog to get through. They were totally at times. I ended up really liking them, especially like the last half of Return of the King. But man, you can't speed through those.
that was definitely the best part. To not wanting to put the book down.
Yeah.
Like that last and I read them a while ago at this point. Like
did you take a while too?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I think I must have read them in like 2008 or 2009 probably. But because I think I got one of those Kindles, like the white page, and I read it on that. That's how long ago we're talking.
Wow, nice.
But I enjoyed it too. It was just some of it was just really tough. Like
it's hard. Yeah, like the Council of Elrond is like 60 pages. The entire thing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Where in the movie that's like 6 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
But Honestly,
I've read it a few times. I love it. It's a great book.
I've been seeing people read them like dozens of times.
I know it while being in the Navy during the Gulf War. Like every time I went on tour, I would read that while at sea because there was nothing else to do. So I would read those 3 books, not The Hobbit, because I've read The Hobbit so many times. I would read those 3, and then I would. Yeah. So I've read that book at least 3-4 times in the Navy, and then it was always followed up by the Terry Brooks series, The Short of Shinar. I don't know if you ever read it.
No.
But yeah, those Hobbit books, I had to read them once. At least it was once a year.
A lot of people say they're better on the rereads because you could since you know what's happening, you could like kind of pay attention to different stuff, and it's not so overwhelming.
You miss things out of it.
Yeah,
you miss some things.
I definitely missed a good chunk of stuff. Like I'd be in Return of the King, and I'd be like, "Wait, who's this?" Oh, they were mentioned too, but like the last book, and But my favorite non-main character was Treebeard. I loved the ends.
Yes,
that was fantastic.
Treebeard is very good in the book.
Oh my god, that whole end thing was so interesting.
Yeah.
Just so like the descriptions. Oh my god, especially in that, like he'd spend paragraphs sometimes describing stuff, and sometimes it was a slog. But that I was like, he just described trees for like 3 pages, and it was interesting. Like certain things just totally
he's a linguist.
Yeah,
it was cool too because when you kind of connect how so much of that was inspired by his time in the war too, in World War One, like it kind of puts it together. And I was like, when you think about all that together, it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, some of those songs, those Elven and Dwarvish songs,
I skipped most.
It could be less than 11 to 15 pages.
I skipped most of them.
How many times did you try to pronounce all of it? Like reread it over and over again.
I started watching Fellowship yesterday. I'm like I have like 45 minutes left, but I'm like,
my wife loved it.
At least like 5 or 6 times. At least like 5 or 6 times. I was like, I pronounced that wrong.
My dad, I still remember to this day. My dad was so like upset with like the Treebeard character in the movie. He goes, "This guy wasn't in the book." He's like, "I read."
Your dad read the books?
Yeah, he's like, "I definitely don't remember this guy being in the book." I was like, "I don't know, Dad. I've never read the books." He's like, "I thought he was pretty cool actually in the movie." I was like, "I don't know why you were so."
No, I'm excited to finish the movies now because I've avoided the movies this whole time. I've never seen them.
Oh, really?
So you haven't seen the movies?
I read the books completely blind.
I did not know that. Okay, totally different story.
Yeah. So I did that intentionally. I've wanted to read these books for like 10 years, and I just never brought myself to. So I was like, I'll watch the movies after I read the books.
Oh, incredible! You have to watch the extended cuts.
I am. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
I know. They're so long.
I have the movies. I have the movies on like DVD. I also have them on Blu-ray, and I just 2 weeks ago I bought them on digital.
Nice.
The extended versions, and I just started reading them on episode 2 right now, halfway through it. But it's a movie like you can watch it over and over again and never
it's so
get
fantastic.
bored of it.
I feel like I might read it again. Not soon, but I'll give it some time. But I could see myself reading it again. I
may go back and read it again.
Yeah,
One
I'm very
day.
happy.
I might go back and read Ready Player One again.
That's a good idea. I haven't read that in a while.
I gotta tell you, it might be one of my all-time favorite books.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming out with the second book.
Are they really?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, it's been all over my Facebook feed.
That should have been Geek Beat.
Yeah, you can. I just thought you can pre-order right now.
The first non-comic book news.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yep.
Do I want a part 2 at this point though?
Oh, it's called Ready Player 2. And of course, it's going to be read by Will Wheaton, the audiobook.
Oh, he's already got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
On there.
Yep, there it is. Ready Player 2.
Nice.
It's available
November 24th.
I partially want to buy the hardcover, but I don't have the hardcover for the other one, so I'll probably just read it digitally.
Digital. There we go.
So that's actually something. So I've read it at least 3 times.
Ready Player One.
And I've done the audiobook.
Yeah, so I did the audiobook and I've read it once.
Yeah.
How's the audiobook?
It's so funny hearing Will Wheaton say his own name.
Yeah, I have never even thought about listening to it.
It's actually pretty funny. And it is funny here. President of the thing, Will Wheaton. I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool. Good stuff.
Yeah, I've been spending my time reading real books instead of comic books.
I have been.
I've actually specifically not let myself read comic books because it would take up my Lord of the Rings time. Because I was like, I don't want to take a year to read these. I need to just read them whenever I can.
I want to get at least into the 2000s of X-Men before I let myself read anything else. That's
very respectable what you're doing. I'm impressed that you're doing that.
You know what? Because it's just there's so much there, and just I had this app. Why would I just use it to read the stuff that's coming out now? I was without having read the whole, the fact that I've read all of Spider-Man, I feel so good about reading a new issue. It's just oh, I remember when that happened and again, I don't remember all of it because there's so many issues, but it's just I know that I've read all of it, and the stuff that was really good that they tend to repeat, that stuff I remember. But I mean, X-Men, listen, there's a lot of good, a lot of bad. But
you kind of just speed through those, right? If you need to. You don't?
Earlier on I was some of the bad titles, if something I'm not really interested in. Mm-hmm. Now that I'm in since I've gotten into the 90s, I haven't really been skipping anything. Unless they don't certain titles like X Factor that skips around, X Force skips around. Mm-hmm. X-Men and the regular Uncanny title, that one's there the whole time. But there's been a few that jump around. Even Wolverine, the Wolverine title, it goes from 50 to 75. There's 25 missing issues, which is surprising for the Wolverine title. Yeah, that's another one that's really good. But
nice.
Cable, even Cable. I'm reading Cable. Cable's a really good story. Mm-hmm. I like his stuff a lot. So I think I'm March 1996. Nice. Is the time period I'm in, and anything that's on Marvel Unlimited that's X-Men related I'm reading. So even some short stories. There was an awesome one, Wolverine and Gambit, which was by Tim Sale, and I believe Jeff Loeb wrote it too.
Ooh.
And it's this little murder mystery that.
Uh-oh. You there?
I'm here.
All right, repeat that.
Murder mystery, and then you died.
You were so good the whole episode, damn it.
Well, I saw you guys pause too, though.
Okay.
But it was. I was just saying it was really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, it's time to go.
That's a sign. This was fun, guys.
This was good. Good to see you guys.
So hopefully we'll remember to record again next week.
Oh.
Wow. No, to be fair, we were very preoccupied.
I was on vacation, so I have an excuse. I can't speak for everybody.
I was shipping out all the rest of the packages from our.
That was done. That was done by Tuesday.
All of them?
I'm closing an office in the city. No more excuses. Sorry about that. Really, honestly, I apologize.
Do I need to bring Yoda in here to tell you?
No. No.
Okay.
All
right. Well, is that it? Anybody else have anything else?
I'm good.
All right. So if you guys enjoyed the super long episode, that really wasn't about anything, but it was about a lot of cool stuff. Please subscribe, hit that button if you're watching us. Give us a thumbs up. Write a review. That'd be awesome if you want to write a review on our podcast page. If you're listening to this just audio, wherever you want to do, just do it. And contact us. We're available on social media at LI Comic Guys and Don't Feed the Geeks. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and don't use Twitter. We don't check Twitter. So just message us on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. And I think that's about it. You guys have anything else?
I think we're good.
No, that was a fantastic closing there, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So until next time, remember...
Don't feed the geeks!